Hello and welcome back to the Super Breakdown. Today we're talking about the RGZ-91 Regazi, piloted by Kavra from Char's Counterattack. The Regazi is a really interesting suit in this game. It starts out in Wave Dash mode, and you have some different moves you can use in it. You can fire a beam, fire some missiles, you can do some barrel rolls, you can burst in this mode, and it's very powerful in this mode. You cannot use your Striker, however, and it's a pretty interesting 200 because of that. You can cancel this mode at any time, but it will also wear itself out as time passes. As you can see, there was a timer running out there, and now I no longer have it. It makes, for a 200, it makes one of the more interesting mix-ups between the start of a match for the Regazi and the end of a match for the Regazi. That said, I'm not a huge fan of the way the Regazi plays in this. Its kit is very mixed up, I guess you could say. A lot of it's missile-based, and it has a decently powered beam rifle for a 200, but it has to be manually reloaded. It doesn't auto-reload. And although the Striker does some pretty decent damage as well, the Regazi just doesn't feel powerful. And normally when you do that trade-off of like power versus speed or tankiness for a 200, then you're going to get something worthwhile for it. I feel like a lot of time was put into the mobile armor mode, the Wave Dash mode, and you just don't have it long enough for it to really be a thing. I've tried playing around with mobile armor transformations with this and seen if I could get it back. I do not know of any way to be able to regain the Wave Dash after you've used it. Maybe you guys do. If you do, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I honestly think if you can go back into that mode, then it would make the Regazi a little bit more worth it, in my opinion. As it is right now, there's a lot of other 200s that I would prefer to use. I just think that the Regazi doesn't really have the subsequent kit to be able to back it up. You have to forgive me, I'm still sick, I'm sorry. So the question is, should you use the Regazi? Well, one thing that the Regazi excels at is having a large amount of good mid to long range missile fire that can be used to juggle your opponents, especially if you mix the Regazi in with, like, say, a Virtue, or a Buster, or something that it can support that with, or even, like, a short-range suit, like a Burning Gundam, or a Death Scythe, or a Sandrock. I feel like the Regazi is really good in team matches, for 1v1s, which aren't very common in this game, but still happen. I don't think it's really worth it, and for most combinations, I probably would not be using it. That said, though, it does still do damage. It is still a low-cost 200. I would probably still recommend using Cecily's Rona instead, or using maybe the Gun Tank, just because it really doesn't have enough power to me to be able to make up for what it already lacks in health and utility, because it doesn't have a stun at all, and it's very unfortunate. Because I feel like it'd be really good with a stun. It feels like a lot of the actual usage was set with the mobile armor modes, and it just does not. It doesn't pay off, I suppose, for me. I think part of that is not being able to use the Striker at all in mobile armor mode. That it kind of feels like a, hey, this is how we're going to start off, but not how we're going to end. You're supposed to use it as an attack, and it does really good damage if you hit with it, but you only get one, and that's rather unfortunate for me. I would have preferred having multiple chances to hit with it, even if it was just a very short, even if the timer was cut in half, and I could switch between it on the fly, I think it would have been a lot more useful. But all that said, the Regazi's fine, it does its job just fine. It's just not a suit that I would recommend using personally. A couple cool things about it, though, is that its burst is different if you use the burst in mobile armor mode as compared to mobile suit mode, which is pretty interesting. One thing that really bothers me about this one, and I don't know if it's colored my thoughts on it, is that Kavra will not stop talking about Astonage. And, like, I get that that's her whole thing, like, she's in love with Astonage and Char's Counterattack, but, like, it's constant. I'm sure you've heard it a couple times yourselves, where she'll just be talking about Astonage. And yeah, sure, that's probably fixed by playing as a different pilot, because you can unlock Amuro as a pilot for the Regazi as well. But it just, I don't know, it really bothers me. All that said, though, The Regi Z is fine, does its job just fine. Give it a shot, see if you like it, but I do not personally recommend the Regi Z. I think there are definitely other 200s that do its job quite a bit better. But until next time, I've been Trey, this has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. The Regi Z has to offer.